Oftentimes, whenever you're having a conversation with someone, a friend, acquaintance, even a stranger, based on the subject matter, based on the topic, if that person doesn't find it ideal, they don't like the subject matter, they don't like the topic, they don't like the conversation, they'll change it for whatever reason. Whether it might trigger some old memories or has to do with some unresolved issues in their life or it's offensive. Sometimes people won't even acknowledge what you said. They won't even mention it. They won't even respond. They'll just take the conversation in a different direction because for whatever reason it's not ideal. This is common in conversations you have with your friends. At one point in your life, you have experienced this, whether it was one of your friends or you yourself were the person that did it. That's something that we oftentimes encounter. It's nothing new. And this is my point. This occurs in the mainstream media. The mainstream media is the friend that doesn't want to talk about that specific subject matter. They don't want to talk about that specific topic. They change the subject. Why? Because for whatever reason, whatever is relevant, whatever is gaining traction, whatever is gaining momentum, this is affecting their agenda. And this brings me to Ice Cube. Ice Cube has a comprehensive plan known as the Contract for Black America. After he spoke with the Trump administration, he received some backlash and scrutiny for having the audacity to even talk to the Trump administration on behalf of black people. I mean, damn. The perception is that black men shouldn't take the initiative, and there's this fear of black authority, or everything has to be run through the Democratic Party. Anyways, let's see what he had to say.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the Contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the Contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, but you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the Contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power and I'm gonna speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
And shout out to Ice Cube. He articulated his agenda, emphasizing that this is specifically for black people. He didn't use the terms like minority or people of color. He wasn't trying to be inclusive of all other groups. He didn't use any of that other deceptive political representation language you hear. This was for black people. This was a plan that would address black people's essential needs. And in my opinion, this is a prime example of how you do it, of how you stay on code, how you stay on target. In this next video, Ice Cube discusses his plan with some panelists on the TV program called Cocktails with the Queens, which is a part of the Fox Soul Network. Let's see what they got to say.
So I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with the Cocktails with the Queens. And there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about, I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women. And it's not, we're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I
You are
want to know,
mentioned. I mean, when you mention Black people, you mentioning Black women. So don't count yourself out.
No,
Yes,
that's
you
not
are.
true.
That's like administration say that when they
Black
mention
people is not
minorities,
Black
they
women.
mention
That's
Black
not
women are
true.
not included in Black people.
No,
Come on, ladies.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it is.
But that's like, you know, that's like you saying,
Black.
that's like when the president says minorities, then he's including Black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us and our plight as well. And
I understand that.
I feel like as a Black man, you can lead.
No,
I feel like
well,
you can.
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it. I just said
I'm here for that.
I don't mind if you
put us
guys
on.
help us.
Oh,
If you
okay.
guys help us write a section. No, I've been open to all kind of experts in putting this together. It wasn't just me. We dealt with experts in all fields of this contract with Black America. So we're willing to deal with experts in the section when it comes to women. So that's no problem.
Okay,
I'll help you write it. I'll help you write it.
And as expected, the panelists attempted to change the narrative, making this about gender, making this about gender inclusion or gender equality, which basically undermines his objective. And whether or not it's deliberate or not, it creates dissension. And Ice Cube basically responds by saying, aren't y'all Black people? But they wanted to make this about feminism. Because the way that they see themselves, they're a part of two groups. They're a minority within a minority. They claim the status of two groups, feminists, Black women. And this is why Ice Cube shouldn't even have entertained the idea of addressing gender equality, because it defeats the purpose. The whole point is to emphasize Black people consist of both groups. I mean, this is how you destroy movements. You sow seeds of dissension. In this case, ideological constructs that do more harm than good. They appear to do good, but they do more harm than good. Don't let them change the narrative. And don't let them change your objective. Stay on point, brothers. Peace out.